YouTube, it's your boy Fishing Ken, man. Back at y'all again. Still at the house. It's been some bad weather coming through Texas, man. It's been a lot of rain, some really soggy days, man, and it just hadn't been really good fishing going on. But while I have the time, I want to talk to you guys about something that showed up a couple of times in the comment section. And you guys make sure y'all keep on giving me stuff y'all want to know about in the comment section, things you want me to maybe do a video on. But today what we're going to talk about is the top 3 baits for fall crappie fishing. First, I want y'all to understand this, man, that is a loaded question. There is not, I repeat, I don't care who you watch, what they say, there is not a top anything baits for different seasons. That is such a loaded question, and I'm going to tell you why. There are so many variables to bait selection. Now, I don't want to make it too difficult because you have to think. Sometimes when these fish, when you get out here on these lakes, the first thing that's on your pole, sometimes you can drop it and bam, fish on. It's time to start yanking, you know. And then other times you can do that, drop that bait, nothing happens. You go to a different color, nothing happens. You go to a different color, nothing happens. And then you might have to change the size of the bait. You might have to change the color of the bait. You might have to change the shape of the bait. So understand that there are no top anything when it comes to crappie fishing. Not for me. That's a very loaded question, but what I want you viewers out there to understand, and especially my Hook City citizens, is how do I pick the right bait for the right occasion? So let's talk about that just a little bit. As you can see, so this is my jig bag, right? And inside of this thing, it gets crazy. Okay. I hope you guys can see that. Inside of here, here's some Billy Morgans that I haven't found space for yet. I've got your Bobby Garlands. Oh man. I've got your Crazy Anglers. I even got a few big bite baits. Constant Pursuit, one of the toughest baits out there. Definitely got some of those. Panfish Assassins. I mean, that's like an old dog you just don't want to see go. You know, Panfish Assassin, that's one of the front runners. It's one of the people that started this whole plastic jig thing. Gotta have your Mr. Crappie. It's just what it is, especially if you're from Texas, you know. Kind of rooting for the home team guy. And again, different styles, shapes, colors. I even have some baby flukes, zooms, lake forks. Gotta have the bonehead. That's another local guy, man. If you don't have boneheads in your bag, you're tripping. And of course, my boy Billy Morgan at Crappie Punisher, he pretty much has his own section back here. Now, understand that these are just plastic baits, guys. Once I start getting into the realm of hand ties, man, you start all the way over again. You know, you got your smaller hand ties, your bigger hand ties, your hand ties that are tied onto 1/8 ounce heads, your ones that are tied onto 16ths. You got your ones from Stump Thumpers. You got those from Billy Morgan. You know, you got all these different people out here that are making and creating these baits, different color combos, different sizes, different feathers. And all these baits work, guys, but sometimes the fish get particular. And the last thing I want to do is send you guys out there thinking that I can have these 3 baits for the fall. And you get out there and you have those 3 baits or those 5 baits or whatever it is, and you don't catch any fish. And next thing you know, you're in my comment section telling me I'm a lie. You know, and no, man, that's not how that's going to work. And that's not how it's going to go down. But what I can tell you is this. Understand how to pick your bait. just for example, I'm not gonna go into depth right now because I'm trying to record this video before Cammy comes home and starts hollering and screaming. So y'all bear with me. But understand that, for an example, if you have an overcast day, I like to use darker baits. If it's muddy water, I like to use darker baits. There are instances though, I'll start out with a darker bait in muddy water and they'll want a white and chartreuse. Or if it's a muddy water, I need something with a lot more movement. So a stinger style or a minnow style bait doesn't work as well as a joker style bait. And I can kind of give you an example of the two. Here's a Mr. Crappie with 3 tails. Okay, that's gonna be a lot more movement, a little less natural, but a lot more movement in that tail. Here's a Constant Pursuit. If I was to go with just a regular minnow style bait, which these work, but the difference, the tail, it moves. It's a nice bait, but the difference is how much movement is in the tail. Sometimes I might get a better strike out of a curly tail, casting it. So these things matter, man, and I really don't want to send you guys out there with a top anything baits. I can tell you that if you go back on my videos from last fall, one thing you will notice is I used a lot of orange, and it was common. A lot of guys in a lot of different forums. Shout out to Crappie Fishing Fools. If you're not a part of Crappie Fishing Fools on Facebook, I suggest you get there, man. A lot of information, a lot of cool guys, even a few fishing partners, man, if you want to find some fishing partners. But check out Crappie Fishing Fools. You'll also find different vendors for baits, man, lift savers, graphs. If you need electronics, you can find them there. David at Shut Up and Fish, another guy that supplies your marine electronics, he'll be on there if you need to get in contact with him. There's a lot of reasons to get on Crappie Fishing Fools, and your boy's the admin. So we want to make sure that it's a clean page. There's none of that extra stuff going on, man. It's a kid-friendly, women-friendly page, man. And we want y'all to come on and enjoy it, be a part of the group, and have fun with us on that page. Crappie Fishing Fools. We also have tournaments, and I will put the next tournament date down here because we have set in on another tournament on Louisville Lake. I believe it is November 10th that we're gonna have that next tournament, man. So if you think you can fish, come on out, man. Let's see what you can do. I may not be fishing in that tournament, but I'll get off of work and at least try to show my face, shake some hands, kiss some babies, the whole nine. You know how it goes, man. Now, like I was saying, you will notice that in some of my older fall fishing videos, there was a lot of orange being thrown around. And one of the main baits that I was using, and it got a lot of attention, man, is candy corn. That's right, guys. Candy corn. Look at the tail on that thing. Billy Morgan's candy corn, man. This thing has afforded me a lot of limits, man, a lot of fish. Now, I will say orange is a color that I found that at different lakes did well. Anywhere from North Texas all the way to East Texas, I could drop this bait. And I can't say that it would always be my top bait, but if the fishing slowed down or if they stopped biting a different color, I could usually throw on a candy corn, something with some orange in it, and get a few more strikes. And that's what it is. That's one thing you want. You want to be able to get those fish to reactivate if they stop reacting to a certain color bait that you've had on for, let's say, an hour, 2 hours, and you've been catching fish. So candy corn, if I had to give any word of advice, I would definitely have this in my tackle box. I'm not calling it a top anything bait, but this is one that I will not leave home without. There was a trending topic last year talking about 3-inch baits. Now, a lot of us know that during the fall, these crappie, they're going to start feeding pretty heavy. And that means that they're also feeding aggressively. Billy made me some 3-inch baits. It was a trending topic. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, I flat out hammered some crappie on Arlington using this 3-inch. It's a little bent up because I had it sitting in the package. But I was using 3-inch candy corns last year during the fall, and they did really well. It's not the only color I use, so please don't stick to that color. Here's another one he makes, which is the Cowboy, which is also another good color on Arlington, which is blue and silver, guys. Blue and silver. If you're a fan of mine, if you've been following the channel, you'll know that I love natural colors as well. And some days that's just what the fish prefer. They want natural. Some days they prefer minnows. Some days they prefer natural with a piece of cut minnow or with a crappie nibble, anything like that. But here is my natural baby. Night night. Do you want to go night night? This is it right here, man. Put a lot of fish in the box. And I can tell you this, that I tend to use more plastics in the fall than I do hand tied. That does not mean hand ties don't work. I also was able to get a few hand ties made up, because I will tell you this, I do favor a lot of browns, a lot of oranges, darker yellows in the fall. And this is what I can tell you. I got this from a guy, shout out to Sacalat Pat, one of the guys that I learned a lot about crappie fishing from, especially when I first got started. He was one of the guys that didn't mind answering questions, even took me out on his boat with him, showed me some things. But one thing he said that stuck with me, as the seasons change, the color tends to change a little bit. And I found that to work for me. Now there are instances again where they don't want the orange in the fall. They don't want the browns and the yellows. But for the most part, I have been able to use oranges, and I've had him, my buddy again, Billy Morgan, tie some orange up for me. And actually, man, I use this color a lot all year long, but during the fall, man, I like to have colors that look like little bugs, little dying insects. And a lot of that is naturally colored stuff. Brown, orange, and I mean, Billy really has some talent here, man. And again, this is what I'll switch to if I'm not getting any love on the plastic baits. Jonathan Zambrano, another guy that ties some really nasty baits, man. I'm not sure if he's still in the business, but if he is, that guy can really tie up some baits, man. So yeah, you guys make sure you have a little bit of everything. You want to have your naturals. You want to have your bright colors. Again, if it's murky, I like to go dark. But sometimes they want a whitened chartreuse over a blackened chartreuse. If it's a bluebird day, you know, if it's really nice outside, the sun is shining, the water clarity is good for your lake. Whatever your water clarity is at your lake, if it's got a natural stain to it, but you still have, you know, a foot or two in depth of vision that you can see into your water. Monkey milk is a great color. I like to keep it natural. The clearer the water, the more natural we like to go. I mean, it's harder to fool the fish when he can see that bait better. So you want to pay attention to your light, your water clarity. Maybe you're coming off of a heavy rain, or maybe the conditions haven't been real stable and your fish are finicky. When your fish are finicky, and then one thing we saw, especially in the deeper months, when we get into the deep winters and the deep summers, most of you know that the fish get sluggish. When the fish get sluggish, they don't want to do a lot of chasing. And if they don't want to do a lot of chasing, two things I do is slow way down on my jigging, and number two, I downsize my baits, guys. And so when you're going from that fall into winter transition, you might have to downsize that bait. And there's not a specific color that I can give you for that. But what I can tell you is go through your rotation of jigs that are smaller. It's just how it works, man. You're gonna hear a lot of people talk about black and chartreuse, white and chartreuse, all chartreuse. These are colors that I would have in my bag. Again, y'all see what my bag looks like. This is what my bag looks like, guys. It's a CD case. I went to Walmart. I think I paid $25 for it. CDs are like dinosaurs, so this thing is, you know, it's pretty expensive. There's a lot of stuff I need to replace in here. But again, I have a little bit of everything because different days are gonna show you or present to you different issues. You know, it might be sunny one day, it might be overcast and dang near dark the next day. Then the water temperature may drop, you know, 5 degrees overnight, or the water levels may raise by 3 feet, which is what just happened on Arlington recently. So you have all these situations, and these different situations mean you need to present to these fish different baits. Here lately we went to Lake OUTCHEAAA, and I barely got some video, and that'll actually be coming out soon. I do want to show you guys that. But man, we fish with a certain style bait, and then all of a sudden the fish stopped on it. I mean, just stopped. And it took us going through baits to find what they wanted. And my buddy is actually the one that figured it out and kind of gave us a hint on it. And we wound up switching to, I went from a hand tie jig to a plastic. You know, totally different color. I was using a darker color. He was using a lighter color. So it's good to know what to use in what scenarios. For me, I'm just gonna give you guys this. For me, I do think about what worked well in the past, but I don't hold on to what worked well in the past. One year it might be silver. The next year it could be red. You know, these fish are unpredictable, man. They do what they want to when they want to. If I gave a top 5 colors, it would be for all year long. It wouldn't be for different seasons. I could tell you that I will always make sure I have a black and chartreuse, a white and chartreuse, a monkey milk, something with orange in it. I'll also have something with blue in it, like a navy blue, or, you know, something like that. Then I always have my natural color jig, something that's black and gray, black and silver, all silver. You know, there's an array of different baits that I like to keep so that at any particular time I can drop whatever the fish want. It's not about what I think is the best. It's what the fish want at that time. So yeah, man, get you a wide array of baits. You know, drop what you think is best. You see what's on here. I know you guys look at these videos and say, man, he's killing it. I don't even know what I'm using. I'm using the minnows on this video, but you know, you might go to some of my older videos and I'm turning it up with candy corn. So if you feel like candy corn is the color for you, start with candy corn. If candy corn doesn't work, try a different color. If colors ain't making a difference for you, seems like, and you know your own fish, try different sizes. So this is what I would tell you. Try different sizes, try different colors, try different techniques, how you're presenting that fish. Don't get stuck on 1 or 2 colors, man. Don't get stuck on, you know, oh, this should be it, and if this isn't it, they're just not biting. Remember, the fish are biting somewhere, and it's up to you to figure out where. It's your boy Fishing Ken, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all long. I appreciate everybody that has watched these videos, liked, commented, subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, man, hit that button, man, so I can tell you, welcome to the city. It's your boy Fishing Ken. But anyway, it is your boy Fishing Ken, the donkey hunter. Don't get it confused. I'm in here doing these videos like this, but I will be on the water soon. I like to tell those crappie I have a special set of skills. Skills that have filled my freezer a whole lot. And as soon as I get a chance, I'm coming. So you better be ready. Fishing Ken, baby. Hook City TV. I'm out here.